starting out as a small Dutch colony and later transforming into an important industrial hub with ports, shipyards, and railroad terminals. Hoboken has a long and fascinating history. It's known for being the birthplace of Frank Sinatra, the site of the first recorded baseball game, and for its panoramic views of the Manhattan skyline. It has become one of the most desirable places to live in the New York City area due to its beautiful waterfront, preserved architecture, walkable downtown, and quiet residential charm. In this video, we'll explore the history of Hoboken from its early farming origins to the vibrant modern city it is today. Hoboken is a city in Hudson County, New Jersey, located along the Hudson River directly across from Manhattan. The name Hoboken originates from the phrase Hoboken hacking, meaning land of the tobacco pipe. Later, Dutch colonists in the 17th century called the land Hobock, meaning high bluff, referring to the elevated point near the waterfront. The first European to survey the land was Henry Hudson, an Englishman sailing for the Dutch East India Company, who made contact with the locals in 1609. In 1630, Michael Rainier Pauw, the administrative head of New Amsterdam and the director of the Dutch West India Company, received a land grant that he used to create a colony called Pavonia. It was later acquired by Hendrik van Vorst, who began leasing the land to Dutch farmers. In 1664, the English took control of nearby New Amsterdam, and the settlement fell under British rule. A decade later, the area became part of East Jersey, and the province was divided into 4 administrative districts, with Hoboken becoming part of Bergen County. It remained a sparsely populated farming community over the next century. During the Revolutionary War, much of the land was owned by William Bayard, who became a loyalist after the fall of New York in 1776. At the end of the conflict, his property was confiscated by the Continental government and auctioned off. In the early 1800s, Colonel John Stevens developed the waterfront as a resort for New Yorkers, establishing a ferry service between Hoboken and Manhattan that became the world's first commercial steam ferry service. In 1832, Sybil's Cave opened that featured a natural spring whose water was sold for its supposed medicinal properties. The cave became well known after Edgar Allan Poe wrote the book The Mystery of Marie Roget, based on the real-life 1841 murder of Marie Rogers, whose body was found near the cave. Hoboken's street grid and future land development plans were created in 1838, and as the population grew, the city of Hoboken was officially established in 1855. In the 1840s, the town was the site of the first officially recorded game of baseball at a recreational riverside park known as Elysian Fields, because suitable grounds in Manhattan were difficult to find. Many of the sports rules were developed here, such as the length of the bases, 3 outs per inning, 9-inning games, and the elimination of throwing the ball at runners to get them out. The game grew in popularity, and by the 1860s, the grounds hosted a championship match attended by 20,000 spectators, cementing the sport as America's national pastime. The Stevens Institute of Technology, a private research university, was founded at Castle Point in 1870, becoming the nation's first mechanical engineering college. By the late 19th century, shipping lines were using Hoboken as a terminal port, and the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad developed a major rail terminal along the waterfront. In 1907, a grand terminal featuring a distinctive clock tower was built, becoming a popular landmark. In addition to shipbuilding, Hoboken became a major manufacturing hub, with large factories providing steady employment for thousands of people. During World War I, the federal government took control of the Hamburg American Line, a prominent German transatlantic shipping company, and part of the city was placed under martial law because of the large number of German immigrants in the area. Hoboken later became the departure point for more than 3 million soldiers heading to the conflict overseas. Following the war, Italians, mostly from the Adriatic port city of Molfetta, became the city's largest ethnic group, while the Irish also maintained a strong presence. Although the city experienced hardship during the Great Depression, jobs in the shipyards and factories remained available and helped Hoboken recover relatively quickly. The opening of the Lincoln Tunnel in 1937 allowed easier automobile travel between New Jersey and New York City, and the city's economy boomed during World War II as factories built ships, manufactured munitions, and developed specialized equipment. However, by the 1960s, manufacturing steadily declined as it became cheaper to produce goods overseas. Port operations shifted to larger facilities on Newark Bay, and automobiles displaced much of the railroad network as people increasingly traveled on newly built highways. Many residents moved to the suburbs, causing real estate values to plummet and the downtown area to become run down. As longtime residents left, Puerto Rican families moved in, keeping storefronts occupied with small businesses and helping prevent the housing stock from being abandoned. Despite hardships, tight-knit neighborhoods remained intact as people found work at the dry docks or at the few remaining factories. In the 1970s, a large portion of River Street, which had been home to dock workers, sailors, and merchants, was leveled as part of an urban renewal project. After intense disputes over how to develop the waterfront, an agreement was finally reached in the 1990s between the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, local officials, Hoboken residents, and private developers. The plan included a mix of commercial and residential buildings, along with open spaces, parks, and reimagined piers. This helped transform the once industrial waterfront into a premier destination and ushered in a wave of new development downtown. Old abandoned factories were renovated into condominiums, brownstones were lovingly restored, and historic preservation laws enforced strict zoning rules to preserve the city's architectural character. Hoboken began attracting artists, musicians, and commuters from New York City who were looking for a more residential community with lower rents. After severe flooding during Hurricane Sandy in 2012, the city added levees, new parks, retention basins, and other infrastructure projects to protect the low-lying riverfront. Today, Hoboken remains one of the most sought-after places to live in the New York City metropolitan area. It's filled with new residential apartments, trendy restaurants, walkable neighborhoods, lively nightlife, and vibrant cultural and art spaces. Its transformed waterfront is perhaps its greatest asset, offering plenty of places to relax and take in the gorgeous views of New York City. Hoboken Riverside Park is one of the most popular attractions, featuring a boardwalk, open lawns, playgrounds, and a small beach area with a kayak launch. Near the center of the city is Church Square Park, which has a more residential atmosphere and is surrounded by beautiful brownstones and shady trees. It features basketball courts, a dog run, playgrounds, chess tables, ping pong tables, and a gazebo. Hoboken's story is one of constant transformation and growth. Its successful transition from an industrial blue-collar city into a booming cosmopolitan hub is a remarkable achievement. It's a perfect example of how smart urban planning combined with historic preservation can create a thriving and enduring city. Well, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time. Take care.